there's a couple things as we start to move forward as an Army that are important to me personally. And one is that there's two specific campaigns that we're going to have, but there's others as well. But we're getting ready to launch what we're going to call our Ready Resilient campaign. And what that is about building resiliency in our soldiers and our families. And people can define resiliency in a lot of different ways. But there's a couple things that we know for sure. We know that as you're able to enhance performance, enhance capabilities, you build resiliency in individuals. And we need that because we ask a lot of our families. We ask a lot of our soldiers. And it's important for us to focus on how we develop this thing called resiliency. And it's developing each other physically, it's developing mentally, it's developing emotionally, it's developing spiritually. And it's having our programs in place to help us to do that. Because what I want our programs to be is something that makes us better. I don't want it to respond to problems, although we'll still be able to do that. I want us to build programs that make us better as individuals, make us better as families, make us better as an Army community. So that's why we're launching a Ready Resilient campaign that will get after this. And it's just not a one-year campaign. It's just not a bumper sticker. Since I told the press we don't have bumper stickers, so we don't. This is about a long-term process that will help us to develop the programs to help us build individual and family resiliency. Now, we have many of the programs today, but they're not coordinated properly, or they're not available, or they're not organized. So part of this is just organizing what we already have to ensure that people understand what programs they need as we move forward. The second thing that I think is important is this program, Soldier for Life. And this is about bringing soldiers in the Army, having them continue to improve it themselves as their time in the Army, and then when they leave the Army, we're going to assist them. So when they leave the Army, they're ready and prepared to move on to the next stage of their life. Why is that important? It's important because it's important that people understand that I was in the Army, it was a positive experience, and it's helped me to move forward in my life. Because, you know, every year, a large part of the Army leaves the Army. That's what we do. That's who we are. And this is something, I want the Army to be something that people remember. Some of the best experiences that I've had when I get to hear people talk about what the Army meant to them and how it changed their lives. And so we want to have a program in place that helps our soldiers and our families come into the Army, help them to continue to improve themselves while they're in the Army, and then prepare them, if they choose to leave, to be prepared to continue to contribute to society. So we want to focus, again, our programs in that area. The last thing I'll say before I sit down is we are still going to invest a lot of money into our family programs. It's a high priority. That's not going to change. But what will, and I said this last year, and we did pretty good this year, but we need to do better. We got to be efficient in the use of the dollars that we have. We got to eliminate programs that aren't efficient enough and are not gaining enough for our families. And we got to invest in the programs that are truly making a difference in our families. And I can't decide that where I'm at. I need your votes. I need your input. I need you to kind of work through your garrison commanders or through the other AFAP and other forums that we have to ensure that I understand which programs are working. Whenever I travel, I require a briefing on family programs. Because I want, and the question I ask is, which ones are working and which ones aren't? And there'll be programs that are focused on the Army itself and funded by the Army and their Army programs. But I also know that each individual installation is unique. And there are some unique programs needed at certain installations. So it should be a combination of broad Army programs that we invest in, as well as the unique programs that are for the population of a very unique installation. The one thing I've realized as I go around is each installation has their own unique problems. And a lot of it has to do with just pure geography. A lot of it has to do with who the population is on that specific installation. We have some installations that have lots of civilians and not so many military. We have some that have lots of young military. We have some that have more senior military. So in each one of those areas, you have some unique issues and problems that you have to deal with. So I have really worked hard with General Farrader in making sure we understand this uniqueness. And he's working hard to ensure we identify that. So it's a pleasure to be here. I look forward. I heard you've had some good spirited discussion. I was hoping you'd be tired by now when I came, but apparently I don't think that's going to work. But I'm looking forward to your questions, and I really mean that. And for all of those who are not here and on stations out around our Army, feel free to get your questions in here. I look forward to answering them. I just want you to know that Linda and I know Linda spoke earlier today, we're so proud to be part of this great Army family. You know, we've been through this together for 36 plus years. We've raised our family in this community. And we know what a great community that it is. We want to keep it that way. We want to continue to improve it, prove it, and it means a lot to us. As I say all the time, the Army's about soldiers and soldiers are about families. And if we don't get this right, we have issues. So thank you very much. I look forward to your questions. Thanks.